Hello, this is Carleen from LushNet Marketing, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about the dreaded negative review. Unfortunately, in life, things don't always go the way we'd like them to, and we may get a negative review, we may get a customer complaint. Now, what I wanted to do is just talk about some of the ways in which we can actually deal with a negative review. Now, it's always devastating whenever we do get a negative review. Now, I just wanted to talk about some of the ways that we can deal with a negative review when we get one, or if we get one. Some of us may never get one. But if we do, these are some of the ways that you can actually deal with that. Now, it's always devastating whenever you get a negative review. It can feel like a punch in the stomach, especially when you know that you've done your best for that customer and you know who the customer is that's written the review. Always make sure that you respond for two reasons. Whenever a negative review is written online, you've got everyone who's actually seeing that review waiting to see what you're going to do, waiting to see how you're going to respond. And you also have the person who's written that negative review. They're waiting to see if you're going to respond to them. Now, I had a client and I pointed out to her that she had a couple of negative reviews online. Now, she was totally unaware of these reviews and she was totally devastated when she saw them and wanted to know why these people didn't actually come back to her and let her know there was a problem. Well, of course, I had to say to her, I don't know why they didn't come back, but sometimes people may feel if they go to the owner may not listen to them, they may not be heard. And whenever somebody has a problem, what they want is to be heard. So they go online because they know they're going to be heard by so many more people, and they're going to be heard by whoever actually reads that review. So you want to make sure that you respond, as I said earlier, so that other people can see, one, that you care about that customer and you care about your business, because your business is your customers. Now, when you respond, try to resist the urge to be defensive. Whenever we feel attacked, and with a negative review, you can feel attacked, you want to defend yourself. But online, always remember that however you respond, so many people are actually looking on and they're making a judgment about you and making a judgment about your business. Now, if you're defensive and you give excuses for why that problem may have happened, other people looking on will see that you're just making excuses, you're just fobbing them off, and you're not really taking responsibility for whatever went wrong. And that's not what you want to communicate. What you want is for other people, as well as that customer, to hear that, one, you acknowledge that something went wrong, and two, you're willing to do something about it. So the next thing you want to do is just think about how you can actually resolve it. Now, when you actually respond to somebody who's written a negative review about you online, I would always have words to the effect of, we're really sorry for what went wrong, and restate whatever the issue was. So if their soup was cold, just say, we're really sorry that your soup was cold. If it's their manicure that went wrong, just say, we're really sorry that you didn't get the manicure that you were expecting. That way people feel heard, and when they feel heard, they feel valued. And then they're more willing to listen to you, and they can see, right, okay, this business owner sees that something went wrong and they're actually willing to do something about it. So now the message that they may bring to others is, went to this restaurant, my soup was cold, but guess what? The owner contacted me and we were able to resolve the issue. People like to talk about when things go bad, unfortunately, but people do also talk about when things go well. Just imagine somebody came into your restaurant, if you had a restaurant, their soup was cold, they complained, and then you responded and asked that person to contact you. Now, if they then went to their friend and said, oh, I went to that restaurant and my soup was cold, what that person is going to want to know is, okay, well, what happened after that? And what that person will have to say is, well, I contacted the restaurant, or I complained and they actually contacted me and we were able to resolve the problem. And that sends a clear message to anyone who may have seen that review. that this business acknowledged there was a problem and they did something about it. So those are just a few ways in which you might want to consider dealing with a negative review. Now, I hope that none of you get a negative review, as it can be so disheartening when you do. But in the event that you do get a negative review, these are some ways in which you can actually deal with it. So I hope that was helpful, and if you have any questions, please do send me an email.